What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up, y'all? I am here. Made it again. Another episode 5 in Orlando, Florida. What's going on? I'm Stacey Michelle. Welcome to Stacey Michelle's Corner outside. We're outside today. How I look? I look good, y'all. I look good. Trying to do the tropical thing out here in Orlando, Florida. Um, Taking this thing to a whole nother level, but trying to do it um, running the board again by myself. It is all good. We're gonna figure this out. We're gonna figure this out. Anyway, how y'all doing out there? I can say coming from Atlanta to Orlando, Florida, it is hot. I thought Atlanta was hot. It is definitely hot out here in Orlando, Florida. Um, I mean hot like Phoenix, Arizona hot, like burn your skin hot. But I am out here in Orlando, Florida, and I'm live. And today we're going to talk about some crazy stuff like parental rights, and you're not the father, and how all this gets mixed up, and how just men get caught up in these situations with women when it comes to their kids and trying to figure out that situation. So anyway, how I look, y'all? My skin glowing. The light looks good. Hey, pizza party. So right now I'm live on like 4 different platforms. I'm live on Tag. I'm live on YouTube. I'm live on Facebook, and I'm live on what else? YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. So I'm live on all of these platforms. So wherever you are, if you are somewhere, please join the fun and yeah, hang out with me um, as I am here in Orlando, Florida. Yeah, so if you've never been to Florida, any part of Florida, you need to come, especially Orlando, Florida. Um, it's very interesting out here because if many of you don't know, people in Florida they don't pay state income taxes. So like in the state of Georgia, I pay federal tax and I pay Georgia state income tax, which is really, really expensive. But here in Florida, they don't pay income taxes. Now they are required to pay like on stuff like sales tax. Their sales tax is like 6 to 7%, depending on what it is. So they pay for sales tax on sales, emissions, like emissions to the park, purchases, services, rentals, and they do excess taxes on like motor fuel. But I saw the gas. The gas prices look the same to me. Motor fuel, but alcoholic beverages and tobacco. But here in Florida, they don't have to pay taxes. I don't blame them because they make a lot of money, especially in Orlando. So I'm in Orlando right now, and it is actually one of the most visited destinations in the U.S. and it's actually the theme park of the world. Their peak seasons are spring break, summer, and holiday, um, which is crazy because in the airport in Atlanta, like the planes are always packed. Like Delta has like 9 flights coming out of Atlanta, and they're all packed, like all packed. But it's interesting. I learned that in 2022, Orlando had like 74 million visitors, ranking it the number one U.S. travel destination, um, which is so much to do. And they actually, in that same year, generated $87 billion. So I see why they don't pay state income tax. They got a lot of attractions. And see, in Atlanta, we don't have like theme parks. Well, I wouldn't consider Six Flags. I wouldn't consider Six Flags a theme park because they need to work on Six Flags. Six Flags in Atlanta, Georgia is ghetto as just ghetto. I went last year for Friday night and it was a mess. It was a hot mess. I would put it like that. Never go back again. But yeah, in Atlanta, we just have, the night scene, a lot of hookah bars, we have a lot of restaurants though. We definitely have a lot of restaurants. And then they do have a lot of events going on. And they're trying to bring back some events to the underground as far as like festivals, like food truck festivals, like uh just a whole bunch of festivals, but it's nothing like being in Florida with the theme parks and all the attractions that's going on. Um, and right now I'm actually at where am I at? This hotel I'm at, Orlando World Marriott. Okay, I'm actually at Orlando World Center Marriott, which is like a resort. So it has like, a whole bunch of restaurants on site. It has a water park. But again, Orlando is like a nice place to visit. It really is a nice place to visit. I didn't get a chance to really hang out. Um, I do have a rental car, so I was able to go shopping and see different things. Um, but other than that, and the roads are kind of nice too. I noticed that like the roads aren't like the roads in Atlanta with a whole bunch of steel plates, or maybe I'm just in a good area. Kissimmee, I think that's what I was told. Kissimmee. I did get a chance to go to a food truck park, which had over like 50 different food trucks. That was interesting. And they're parked there permanently. I found that to be interesting because we'll have that in Atlanta, but not like we'll have like food truck festivals, but we don't have like, and then we have some that maybe like 4 or 5 food trucks that are permanently in a location. But this place is actually set up, and it has, like I said, 50 different food trucks, and it's actually located on a site near a flea market. So you can go to the flea market and you can go to the food trucks, and it's pretty interesting. And I was talking to one young lady who actually works at one of the food trucks. She says at night is really live and popping music. They're just kind of hanging out, and it's pretty neat. But yeah, Orlando is definitely definitely popping. So if you get a chance to come to Orlando and visit, this is where I'm staying at, the Orlando World Center Marriott. Um and it's pretty decent. I mean, they give it 4.4 ratings on Google, and I mean, it's okay. I'm not a person who really likes resorts because I like to like leave and go and meet the locals. I actually met somebody today too. Yesterday I met some people today, and after this probably go hang out uh, downtown Orlando. But yeah, this particular hotel, Orlando World Center Marriott, has a lot of features on site. It has 7 water sides. It has a 575-foot lazy river. It has poolside cabanas. It has a resort spa. It has 18 holes on a championship golf course, and it has 10 dining outlets. So it's a really nice place, especially if you're going to bring your family. Um, Very kid friendly. Kid friendly. I don't know if you can hear the kids in the background. They're in the pools. They've been out all day, but this is a place that is pretty interesting. um, yeah, y'all should come check it out if you are coming to Orlando. If you don't want to stay, because I think it's only like 5 miles away from Disney World, so it's a pretty cool, nice place for the family. So yeah, y'all, I'm running the board, so y'all bear with me. But let's just jump right into these hot topics, okay? Because as you can see, this episode is "You Are Not the Father: Parental Fraud and Child Support Laws," and this is something quite interesting. That I actually like to talk about today because it's a lot of women out here that are setting these men up. Um, yeah, setting them up. But if y'all haven't heard, this came across my desk like about a couple of weeks ago, but this actually happened last month. So last month, a Nigerian football player, OLARENWAJU, I hope I said that right, OLARENWAJU, KAYODE, let's just call him Larry, and his estranged wife, EZINNE, in the picture right here, Dora, we call her Dora, Larry and Dora, they have been in a DNA dispute through their ongoing divorce proceedings. So, Coyote Larry has accused Dora of lying about her age and allegedly having an affair. Um, and of course, I covered the children up because we got to protect the children over here. But this picture is online with their faces uncovered. But he is actually accusing her um, of he's not the father of their three children. So he currently plays for the Turkish side of Gençlerbirliği, and he's claimed to have conducted a DNS test on all three of his sons, which came back negative, resulting in him not being the biological father to any of them, which is really interesting. And the controversy was so impactful. I mean, it. I don't know. I saw it. It was really impactful that actually Dora, like on social media, was just saying like all this bad stuff. Like basically, she's having an affair with the pastor, and the three kids are the pastors, and then also that her and the pastor have been selling his stuff, like his cars and his homes, and but it got really bad. Actually, it's really bad now. So they're actually both like suing each other, and actually Dora, she took legal action first. She's denying the accusations and demanding a public disclaimer from him. Now, just so y'all know, Dora is not like some housewife that's trying to take his money or whatever, but she herself is also well known as being recognized as one of the foremost female football agents in the world. And in 2022, Dora was crowned the Outstanding Female Football Agents of the Year at the 2022 Annual Diamond Special Recognition Awards worldwide. So she is suing him, her former husband, over these claims. And she actually posted on her IG account the legal documents that y'all can go see. And she is urging him, somewhat demanding him to provide the DNA results and the hospital in which it was conducted. So on her social media, on her IG page, she actually posted, "Honestly, I'm so tired of this man's nonsense and it has to stop now. I have kept quiet on all the rumors you have been spreading because they are baseless, childish, and false." She continues to say, "I have never sold any of my properties or cars and given the proceeds to any pastor, bishop, or imam in this world. In fact, all the rumors this mentally disturbed young man Coyote is sharing online are all false." So I'm just interested to know, and he also came back with his legal documents as well. But I'm just curious as to why, if the children are not yours, then go ahead and provide those documents, right? What's the holdup? Well, you know, OLARENWAJU, I'll just call him Larry. Like I said, he also posted legal documents on his IG account addressing Dora. He claims that it's a plot with her PR team to manipulatively change the narrative, and he stands by what he says. Um, he said the world will know how much evil you perpetrated to the institution of marriage and creating a story around DNA as you all plan will not save the day for you. Yeah, so what do y'all think? I mean, it's just interesting because like even with the whole Diddy situation, right? As we can see, when Cassie took it to court, when she decided to sue him and make it public, he immediately wrote that check the next day. So that proved his guilt. Or no, well, let me put it like this: he immediately wrote the check, but then he denied it, which was crazy. But I guess that's what you do. You deny it until you prove it guilty, right? But it's also crazy because like these these parental battles, just it's just like one of the complex issues that surround like trust, fidelity, and parental fraud, which is something I learned about a couple of weeks ago. I didn't even know there was a such thing as parental fraud, but apparently there is. So, what is parental fraud? Well, parental fraud, also known as paternity fraud, is when a mother intentionally misidentifies a child's biological father on legal documents or in court proceedings. So basically, if she says the child is his and he signs that birth certificate, or if they go to court and she says it's his and that man agrees to signing the legal document saying it's his, knowingly knowing that that's not his child, is parental fraud. And I think these type of women are, like, to be honest, like, really trifling, because even as a mother, even when you're unsure who the father is, or when you know who the father is, but you actually put that on somebody who you figure is like, financially well off, you want to secure the bag, um, or you just want to just collect child support. Either way, it's just a horrible, horrible way to live. It's a horrible thing to do as a mother, because you are like allowing these men to spend many years believing. So y'all remember, like, Mari Povich, and how, like, he would have the "you are not the father." That is exactly what he was reading. They had that paperwork that actually, when he was like 99.99%, "you are the father," and they get up and run, that means they're the father. So just really interesting, to know about that. And it's after he's been told he is the father, or after he thinks he's the father, he signed the birth certificate, and now they separated, and now he's paying child support. And then he finds out he's no longer the father. Should he continue to pay child support? And that's a debate, because some people are like, yeah, he should, because, or even some men would be like, yeah, because they don't want the child to suffer. But I don't know, call me mean or whatever, but if I found out like a child, if I was a man and I found out that child wasn't mine, yeah, I'm not giving another dime. I'm sorry. I'm one of them. I'm gonna be one of those men. I'm not giving another dime. And I understand that the child can maybe suffer, you know what I'm saying? And I'll figure some way out to like, I don't know, I would have to tell the child if the child is old enough. Like, because we talking about 6 or 7, maybe 5, maybe 4. At the age of 4, let's just say 5 or 6, so they're in kindergarten. I'd have to tell him. I'd have to tell him and that because there's no way, like once that trust is broken, there's no way we can communicate. Because I wouldn't like her no more. I would just be like, how could you? You know what I'm saying? How could you? Um, but they also say that like paternity fraud is like when the DNA test is manipulated. So, like in some cases, the DNA evidence in the testing process may be manipulated. So, you could know somebody at the clinic, or you could pay somebody at the clinic, and they could be tampering with the samples, presenting the false evidence. So that'd be funny if our friend Larry, the Nigerian football player, decides he's gonna get somebody to manipulate their DNA test because they must be really mad at each other for him to like be like, them ain't my kids. Them ain't my kids. And it's funny because I've heard stories where men would have to sneak like hair samples of saliva from the kids when they have like the kids over when it's their time to babysit the kid, and actually take those samples to get tested because that's how that's how toxic the relationship is between him and the mother. Like it's just so toxic that, you know, and I feel like when it's toxic like that, and if she knows like that's what he's trying to do, she's gonna make it even toxic. Like, no, you can't see the kids. No, you can't see the kids. But it's crazy how like women can like we can be like really really mean and evil, like for real. Hey classy, hey girl. So we can be like really really mean and evil, which is bad for us, you know. But I guess history just shows that we've been doing that for a minute. Another example is the miscommunication and misunderstanding. So in this scenario, um, the mother may genuinely believe a certain man is the biological father, but you know, once again, once those DNA tests come back, it's not. And I can see this situation happening. Like, for instance, if let's just say she's in one relationship and she kind of broke up that relationship, and you know, but again, this woman would have to be like either a loose woman or she basically would have to be dealing with 2 men at one time because the time frame of like say for instance I broke up with my ex and then here's this other guy and I decide I'm gonna sleep with him too around the same time, you know, it's almost like where your mind at, girlfriend, where your mind at, because even if you did break up with your ex and then you immediately mess with this guy, like, but that's one of those conversations. I feel like if it's a situation where you really don't know and you're kind of not with your ex, but then you're just kind of with this person, then in that situation, I think you should be able to tell both of them, like, hey, maybe not at the same time. Well, maybe not at the same time, but I would be like, hey, I think I'm pregnant, but it may not be yours, or it may be yours. Let's wait and see. Now, you may run the guy off, but either way, if if he's still the biological father, he gonna be around anyway to pay child support. So either one of them gonna be. So I see you in the comments, Angel. Thank you. It is a nice background. I am in Orlando, Florida. It is beautiful out here. I think they were doing fireworks earlier. I don't know. I can't really see. So, um, another example is unawareness of multiple potential fathers, and that's what I was talking about. Like not really knowing who the father is, and I think that's something where, as women, we need to really reel in our behavior and really think about, how it could affect not only us, but children and other people's livelihoods and potential grandparents, and just like it just is so much that happens when you lie about who's the father of your child. And it's crazy. But you know what else is crazy that I also learned? Um, about some of these famous parental cases that I didn't know about a lot of them. A couple of them I knew, but it's interesting because as you can see, it's five famous people in here that who had to take parental tests, paternity tests to prove they were either the kids or not the kids. And I know y'all can recognize these faces. So first one up, we have Eddie Murphy. We all know Eddie Murphy, and he was entangled in a paternity suit. Um, if y'all don't remember, some of y'all know, he actually had a relationship with former Spice Girl Melanie Brown. Okay. Um, and they ended up in court. And she said that Eddie Murphy was the father of her daughter, Iris. And guess what? The DNA paternity test confirmed it. But again, despite that, Eddie Murphy was like, "Psh, I'm not," which is now see that's messed up too when the men don't want to have nothing to do with you. That there you go, ladies. Y'all know it ain't always good to try to secure the bag by having a baby by a man, because he ain't always gonna want to be with you. But anyway, um, he don't want to build a relationship with her. Last I heard, he doesn't want to even deal with her. Um, but he still supports her financially. So, and by the time she was born, Eddie Murphy had 7 children, and Iris was the 8th. So Eddie Murphy be dropping them babies. All right, y'all see who else is on here? Keanu Reeves. He was also another celebrity caught in the courtroom wrangle for paternity tests. Y'all know him from The Matrix. And even though Reeves, he made it clear he never met Karen Sala. Sorry, he never met Karen Sala. She continued to claim that he fathered a child with her. Um, he did contest the paternity test and made it clear he wasn't the father. But that don't stop some women. They just keep going and going. She the first test came back negative, and Karen, her name would be Karen. Karen, she wanted him to take a second test. And she made claims of 3 million to 150 3 million and $150 for spousal and child support, which is wild how people can just sue you for anything, right? Y'all recognize Sean Austin. Um, he was in Lord of the Rings, The Goonies, Stranger Things. He also had to take a DNA test. Now, his situation is different because he didn't want to take the DNA. He didn't take the DNA test. Um, he didn't take the DNA test because because a woman wanted him to take the DNA test. Instead, he wanted to figure out who was his own father. Okay, so his mother, late actress Patty Duke, she had 3 partners, and out of those 3, they could potentially be his father. So he took the DNA test to determine the identity of his dad. Um, and then John Austin is actually his biological father. Um, that Michael Tell, some guy named Michael Tell, his biological father. So that's interesting to know your mama was in there getting it in, getting it in. And that's crazy. Like, how do you have a child, and then your child wants to know who their father is, and you just like, I don't know, or I think it's this person, or I don't know, maybe it's this person. Like as a child, I can imagine how that is. Um, and look at our friend Chris Rock. So, um, So this is a former actress. She lives in Georgia. I don't know who she is, but Kayla Bauer. Um, it ruled out that she was that her child, her 13-year-old child, was actually Chris Rock's child. Um, but Chris Rock and his wife also decided to go ahead and sue her. And then I like Chris Rock and his wife because they actually apologized um, to her son for like the media chaos, saying, I can imagine being in school and like your parents are all on the news. Like even a situation with Diddy, like, but they go to school with rich kids, so I can imagine like it's even worse. They probably like your daddy ain't. Anyway, Justin Bieber, congratulations to him and his wife. They're expecting now, but um, soon as he was about to he was right on top. A woman named Mariah Yeater claimed that he fathered her 3-month old child, um, and she slapped a paternity lawsuit on him. But again, he said he never seen her. And that's why how we could just sue anybody. Like somebody can just say, I'm gonna sue Stacey Michelle just because she's Stacey Michelle. That's crazy. Anyway, it did confirm the DNA test did confirm that he was not the father. And somebody said he wrote a song later on called Mariah that condemned her. Wow. Um, and then shortly after, they found out that Mariah actually fabricated the whole story to make some quick cash. Wow, that's crazy. So I think she got jail time for that. Um, Shame on them. So here go a couple of other people. Kourtney Kardashian, she was actually in a paternity case filed by a former model, Michael Girgenti. He was trying to say Mason was his son. And of course, that proved to be wrong. But he still believes that the test was fixed. Come on, man. People, y'all are crazy. Jude Law and a woman, Samantha Burke, they had a brief fling on the set of Sherlock Holmes in 2008. And then their daughter, Sophia, was born shortly after that. And then the DNA test did establish that he was the father. And of course, he remained involved in the child's life. Um, and he meets the daughter once a year. Once a year. But financially supports her until she's 18. That is crazy. These men, y'all need to do better because I feel like if y'all are the father, if the paperwork says you are the father, you need to step up to the plate and just spend time with those kids. That is crazy because it's almost like they're punishing, I guess they're punishing the mom for what you decided you wanted to get with her. I'm sure these women are not like forcing these men to have sex with them, right? Um, and I'm sure, like, I know there's a probability that you can get pregnant on the first time, at the first time, on the first try. However, I feel like a lot of these kids that are being born um, are love childs, and at the moment, the man and the woman, they're together, they're doing a thing, and they're adulting, and they're adulting often, and then a baby comes in the picture, and then they feel like, oh, she just wants me for my money, which is really, really sad because as a man, you got to step up to the plate too. Like, be in that child's life. Like, what kind of man are you to say, oh, I'm just going to not be in the child's life, but I'm going to support you financially because I just wanted to get it on with your mom? Really, dude? Come on. All right. So, Steve Jobs, you know, um, he also had a child with his high school sweetheart. And Why not take the test? What do you have to hide? What do you have to hide? It's just a whole bunch of trifling stuff going on. And last but not least, let's not forget about Michael Jordan. Okay. Pamela Smith, she slapped a paternity case on the NBA star, and she pushed for a DNA test and child support. And she said they met in the 80s, but Jordan said he doesn't remember. And the judge called her bluff, and it was thrown out of court. And she was actually ordered to pay all of Jordan's illegal fees. So it's really crazy, like, y'all, how, like, people in general, like, they operate on this low vibration. And I talked about that in a couple of previous episodes, how they operate in low vibration. When you operate in low vibration, you do things like you would try to manipulate people. You do things to try to hurt people to benefit yourself. But in the long run, it's not going to benefit you. Like, you know, even coming out here, I came out here, there was a live streaming event, and like the energy is just like not very welcoming, and the energy is kind of like this whole like I'm better than you type of vibe, and which is really like crazy, because you think when you come to conventions that you're coming to bond with people, to network, to learn, to share some tips and tricks, and yet it's the opposite. It's just really the opposite. Um, Thank you, Classy. I had some people saying I look good. I do look good, y'all. I'm trying to keep my energy up, but it's like people watching me, and I'm trying to get used to this, y'all. Trying to get used to people watching me, and I'm also not trying to be so loud and bring too much attention. So I'm trying to be like in my sexy voice. You know what I'm saying? But um, yeah, it's pretty hold on, y'all. It's pretty interesting how like just how people operate day to day. Like, how do you expect anything great to come in your life if if you operate off a low vibration, right? How do you expect to grow if you operate off a low vibration? You know, how do you expect to learn anything? I guess I said that if you operate off a low vibration, because when you operate off a low vibration, everything is negative, whether you think it's negative or not. And one of the things we have to do is we actually have to check ourselves to say, hey, what am I thinking about? Why am I thinking this way? Why am I not um why am I being negative? Why am I lying? Why am I whatever? Um and just like with these parental tests and these parental fraud, I mean, it's just so many men that like are being affected by this, and so many families, and so many kids, and just I mean, and there's a lot of data out there that's just saying that, like, they did a study. There's a study that said they where they had about 1,000 men, well, let's say 1,200 men. They were seeking paternity test services in the United States, and the findings revealed that 11% were not the biological fathers of the children that they were raising. And that's a lot. Like, women, we got to do better. Like, we really got to do better. I feel like in order for our men to be leaders, we ourselves have to be better followers, or better what do you call it, better supporters. And that starts within ourselves. Like, we have to really dig deep within ourselves to figure out, you know what are my bad habits? Why am I sleeping around? Why am I messing with somebody without protection? Why am I falling for the okey doke? Because I think sometimes men, they're just gonna be men, and not to give them an excuse to be men, but let's just say they don't really make decisions clearly. They don't really think with their heads clearly as they should, right? They see an opportunity, they see a beautiful woman, or they see a woman, and they're like, oh, let me try to smash. And then it becomes one time smashing, and it becomes, okay, let me see you again. Let me see you again. Let me see you again. Because they probably ain't getting what they want at home. And then here you go, boom, a child is there. And then you don't want to have nothing to do with the woman. She just like, but I don't want to raise this child by myself. But yeah, like and it a lot of it happens in the lower um economic society, I would put it like that, where like men are just taking care of kids that aren't theirs. And I was talking to one of my friends at work, and we was talking about child support and how some of the child support laws are now changing. Because at first, child support laws were put in place to protect the woman and the child. So basically, whatever the woman said, that's what the law said. However, not realizing that it was actually hurting the men financially, right? Because basically, it was saying protecting the women that we're going to base child support off of the father's income, and the woman, the mom, doesn't have to do anything, which to me is a load of crap. Because in that situation, even if that man decided he wanted to move on and start another family, or go into another relationship as a blended family, he's like 100% responsible for his child that he had with this other woman, who is the full custodian parent. So now there are some laws that are being changed in certain states where both incomes play a part in it, which I think is fair. Especially if you have a man that is, and I don't want to call it going above and beyond, because a man should take care of their kids regardless of the situation. But like, you know, if you have a man that's actually paying for summer camp, paying for shoes, every time you ask for something, he's doing that on top of paying child support, like, and then you have a woman who's just like, I ain't about to do nothing. But men, you also have to be responsible too. Like, it's almost like you have to, before you even date somebody, or before you decide to adult with somebody, you definitely have to like peep the seed, be observant, like go to their house, see how they live. Is the kitchen clean? Is their car dirty? Like, or okay, say you go to the house one time and like it just happens to be stuff, whatever. But if you continue to keep going back and the house is like a mess, the car is a mess. Because as a female, you shouldn't be living dirty either anyway. And if you are, you need to figure out where that's coming from, right? Like, I feel like a woman should always be clean and carry herself in a certain way, but men, you see this beauty, and then you just forget about everything else. You don't think about like, dang, who am I really dealing with? Cuz I could tell you, like, some women I would never ever hang out with, or I won't hang out with ever again. Only because I see how they live, I see how they act, I see how they talk, I see what their thought process is, especially when it comes to dealing with men. Like, if you're a woman who wants to just use a man, mm-mm, definitely not. I'm definitely not rolling with you, But I just hope that eventually, like, these laws in these states, when these states are actually revisiting these child support laws, they're actually, really taking into account and putting the child first. Like, really saying, like, if I'm going to support this child, then this child needs to be supported, and this money doesn't need to be going towards her getting her hair and her nails done and all that. Because, like, man, it's wild how, like, a lot of these women are not taking care of their kids like they should. Um they're not, their hair aren't being combed, but the kids go to school cussing, and I'm talking about like elementary kids, like 4 or 5 or 6 year olds just wilding, wilding. And I know I was a single parent. Um, you know, I know who my child's father was. Thank God. And yes, he did have to pay child support because he decided he didn't want to be in a situation because I decided I didn't want to be with him. And so those situations do happen when a woman decides she doesn't want to be with the man. Then sometimes the men can kind of be like selfish themselves and try to get back at the women or whatever. So yeah, pretty interesting, right, y'all? So let me know what y'all think about that whole situation um, with uh, the Nigerian football player and his wife. And do you think that he should take, like, show proof of the parental test, paternity test? I think he should. I challenge him to do it. If you have nothing to hide, then do it. Now, if those are your kids, and either way, but then you would have to issue her a public apology, which is fine. You know what I'm saying? And then you might be called a douchebag and a jerk, which is what you deserve if you are lying. But continue on. The divorce is over. You pay the child support and you move on. You know, stop uh putting these kids in it. But that'd be interesting to find out, what is really gonna happen with that situation. I'm gonna be nosy. Now that's some celebrity smut I'm interested in to see because, you know, I wanna see. I wanna see the proof. Is you is you the father or are you not the father? That's what I wanna know. Are you the father? So we should know. So bear with me one moment, y'all. I think I lost I'm on this board, but I think I lost everything on the board. I don't even know if I'm live. I don't even know. I lost everything. Let me see. Am I still live? We gonna see if I'm still live. Y'all, am I still live? I'm still live. I think so. I lost my board. I lost my board. I lost my board. I lost my board. Yeah, I lost my board. Let's see. We got to end our live. I think my there we go. This is why I need my niece here. Shout out to Tasteable. Girl, you supposed to be here helping me. You're supposed to be helping me. It's all good. I found my board, y'all. I got a little nervous. I was like, where's my board? I can't see nothing. Am I still live? I can see I'm still live on Instagram, but I was like, where's my board? Where's my board? So speaking of that board, let's talk about that real quick. Like as far as women and the qualities that y'all look for in y'all man, okay? Like in because my thought process is like I just believe that men are leaders, right? I really do. I believe men are leaders and I believe that they're natural born leaders. And with anything, when it comes to leaders, leaders always need support. They don't always know everything. They need guidance. They need feedback. They need encouragement. And I feel like, that's exactly what a lot of our men need, right? And so um, that is one of the qualities that I do look for in a man is like, does he have the potential of leadership? And I think that's the only kind of potential that I look for. Everything else, like I feel like he should already have the basics. He should have a place to stay of his own, right? He should have a place to stay of his own. He should have a car and he should have a job. And she should have a job where he is making money so that he is financially stable. Those are some of the things that I look for. Um, if he can't lead, he can't provide. I mean, those are like the basics. And can he is he a good decision maker? Is he somebody that when he makes a decision, he thinks about himself the impact that it can have on him, and does he think about um the decisions that he makes that it has on if he has children, if his relationship, his family, or is he just one of those men like, I'm just gonna go ahead and make a decision? And that comes down to him being able to be disciplined, also not cheat. If he's hanging out, is he a good decision maker where he's gonna be like, oh, she looks great and she wants to holler at me, but you know what? I'm gonna say no, not this time. And I'm just gonna shake your hand and keep it moving. You know, also, as a black female, as a black woman, does this man value black women? Because a lot of times they don't, they really don't. Um, and then, as far as a man being feminine, because I feel like men should have a little bit of femininity, just a little bit, just like if you take some fingernail polish, you know how like when you get your nails done and you get in design, and the nail technician, she gets that little tip thing out and she dips it in the polish and she puts like a little dot, but that dot spreads a long way. That's how much femininity that I would like a man to have, right? Just a dot of it, just a little bit, so that when it needs to, it's spread around just a little bit, But I don't know who said this, but and also again, this man has to be a leader, because I don't know who said this, but they said if a woman has to lead a man, then basically he becomes her child. So how y'all feel about that? Um, a man not being able to lead, because nowadays, like it just seems like we as women are competing with men in a lot of ways that we shouldn't. Like I've seen on live where men will argue with women, um and even we can say debate, they'll strongly debate with women, and they raise their voice almost like they're yelling. But any man who decides it's gonna like argue with a woman, especially a woman that's not his and just wants to argue and have arguments, that is wild to me. um but like now the men are wearing like nails and supposedly getting BBLs. I don't know. Now I seen the hoochie mama shorts. I don't know why they call them hoochie mama shorts, but I kind of, some of them look really nice on men, because some of them, I think they're just like, I forgot what they call them, but Bermuda shorts, that's what they're called. Some men look really nice on them because they have a nice build, they have nice legs, and the shorts aren't like tight like on their butts. They're just like Bermuda shorts, and they look really nice. But the whole nail polish and you know, and I'm talking about a man's man. Like, why do you need to wear nail polish? I don't understand. So, but just wild to me. So tell me what y'all think. Like, women, what are y'all looking for in a man? And like, what are some of the key qualities that he has to have in order for you to even like look at him or decide to date him or whatever? Cause like it's getting wild out here. Like it's getting so wild out here. Like, and I hate to say it because sometimes you'll meet a guy and then you're just like, does he like me or does he just yeah, does he like me or is he just like? And if you have to ask that question, then it's like, what's really going on? And and I'm just talking about men, heterosexual men, like heterosexual men. I don't believe a heterosexual man should be wearing nail polish or getting a BBL or even getting any type of liposuction that changes his shape. It, like that's kind of weird to me, but yeah, y'all let me know what y'all think about that. Um, and also women, I keep going back to this, but we definitely got to do better. I mean, um, I had a talk with a young lady yesterday, and how she was actually brought into a situation that she shouldn't have been brought into, and you know and it came down to rumors, and she felt like her guy friend was kind of nonchalant about it instead of him nipping it in the butt like, no, we never had anything going on. He kind of was like, which to me, I thought he was being a coward, because if you're supposed to be my friend and people are spreading rumors about us and you know those rumors aren't true and you're going to act like they are, like, what kind of man are you? So it's just, it just gets weird out here, y'all. It gets weird. It's almost like you it's almost like it becomes a situation where you just want to be by yourself, but then a lot of times, you know, you shouldn't be by yourself because so many people are operating off a low vibration that you just can't trust anybody, you know. And I've been meeting some really, really great people, and I just need to keep putting this in the universe because I've definitely been working on myself, as y'all can see. um, Eating better, just doing better. I actually ate some meat this week. Yesterday, I actually ate some meat yesterday because I'm on vacation. I hadn't eaten meat for almost 4 months, and I decided I wanted to have some meat because I was at the food truck um, park. But I've been working on myself, and I've been meeting really, really great people. And shout out to Gray. Shout out to Gray. I met at work. Just really great people with great energy. But yet I'm so like, I'm still in my head a little bit as far as like, I don't really want to get close to this person because I don't want this person to end up being like this person, you know. And another thing about leveling up too is like, what I notice is like, you really, when you're leveling up, you really do be leaving people behind, and not in a way where you're like, oh, I don't really like this person or they did something to me. It's just that once you become, when you level up and you're on a higher vibration and you get to a higher level of a thought process and you got goals and you got dreams, then you know you realize like, mm, if I continue to hang around with these people, I'm really not going to be focused on myself. I'm really not going to grow. It's just going to be because, you know, they're not leveling up, right? But then if you're in a group of people that everybody's leveling up, everybody's actually focused on their working on their goals and dreams. Everybody's like grinding. You know, nobody's like, oh, you didn't call me today. You know, it's no type of explanation of why I didn't call you because I'm so busy working on myself. That that is a good group of people to have. And then what I also find is a lot of times the people that you don't hang around anymore, they may expect some type of explanation, but you should see the explanation. Like, you should see what I'm doing. That should be all the explanation you need, because I don't owe any, like, we don't owe anybody an explanation as to why we decided to level up or why I decided to, you know, kind of level up. I'm just gonna put level up. Like, I don't owe, you don't owe anybody explanation. It's proof in the pudding. Like, if they see you glowing, if they see you doing this, like I'm doing my YouTube channel, like, there you go. There's your explanation. And I like leveling it up too. I love working on myself. I love it. It is definitely a lot of discipline that goes into it, but I love it because I see the changes. I see the growth. I'm able to, the discernment also grows. So I'm excited about that. But anyway, y'all, my time is up, and it's gotten quiet out here and the lights are on. And I think people are watching me, but I can't see them. The lights are too bright. And my Mac about to fall asleep. So, because everything is powering off this Mac. So, anyway, again, I appreciate y'all watching. Y'all make sure y'all like and subscribe. Let me know how I'm doing. I was kind of low key today because I got company out here. But y'all let me know how I'm doing. If y'all want me to talk about something besides celebrity smut, let me know. I'll do it. In the meantime, continue to grow, continue to level up, and be good, y'all. And work on yourselves. That's what it's all about. Talk to you later. Peace.